What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It has been a hot second, but today I got a good one for you because we're going to talk a little bit about a great, really cool training app that I've been using and just a little bit about where my training is right now. So without any further ado, no long preamble, let's just get into it. As you can see in the title, I'm using the Juggernaut Training AI app. I think that's how it is. Regardless, Juggernaut Training. I've been using this app for about, I think I'm on week 17 as of recording. I think this footage is from like week 10 or 11. Regardless, I've been using it for a little while. Basically, I'm using it as a power building program right now, which is a little bit of hypertrophy and my powerlifting focus as well. I'm doing this because, as you guys know, the ever-growing calorie deficit continues. I took a little bit of maintenance over the holidays, and I'm back on a 16-week calorie deficit. So rather than go fully into powerlifting training in a calorie deficit, which may not yield the best results, I am instead focusing on maintaining as much muscularity and strength as I can in a calorie deficit while still keeping some technique from my power lifts, my squat, my bench, and my deadlift. So far, it has been going pretty well. The weight's coming off. The strength is staying. We're actually hitting a couple PRs here and there, which has been really nice. I feel like my technique is getting better, and I think it's all due to this app. Now, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but this is one of the coolest training apps / programming tools I've ever used. Usually, I'm either self-programming or I'm buying a program. When I first started, I was buying a lot of programs, and those were good for where I was. Now, I'm not saying that you as a beginner need to get this advanced AI app that's going to cost you a monthly fee. I think it's like $35. But if you've come to a place where you're kind of stagnating in your training, you want to focus on powerlifting or hypertrophy training with a little bit more emphasis on periodization, a little bit more emphasis on overload and volume and understanding those concepts, I think that this is a great tool to use. I've really been enjoying it. It has helped me just kind of unplug from having to write my own program, then go in and execute those programs. Instead, I can just go in, execute the program, have a good training session, and it's been really nice, really freeing so that I can focus more of my energy on training. So without any further ado, I took some screen recordings and some footage from my last strength session. So we're going to go over some of that, and I'm going to kind of talk you through how the app works, and you can decide for yourselves whether or not you want to sign it up. Obviously, I'm not sponsored. I don't have anybody that watches these videos, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. I'm not sponsored. I just really love this product. So if you like it, go ahead and give it a shot. If not, I don't care. I don't have any monetary stake in this, okay? Okay, so right off the bat, something that I really love about this app is the Readiness check-in. So as you can see here, my Readiness is 19.11. It's just a nebulous thing to kind of say how ready I am. And the app is an AI app, obviously, Juggernaut AI. But what's really cool about it is it takes into account how you're feeling on the day, how you were feeling yesterday, your sleep, your nutrition patterns, all of these things that a lot of just paper and pencil programs don't really check in with. They just say, here's your sets and reps for the day. Well, what happens if I had a really horrible night's sleep? You know, what happens if my toddler was up and I slept for about 3 hours, or I was at a bachelor party and I'm trying to get a training session in, but we got to drinking last night, you know? So that's what I think is really, really cool. And what this app affords you over like a paper and pencil product is you do a check-in before you start every single day. And that kind of dictates where your training is going to go. And I just think that that's super, super cool. So as you can see here, when you click start training, when you're going for a training session, it'll give you a recommended warm-up. Usually I'll do a combination of this stuff and some of my own warm-ups. But I think these are really cool. If you click the info tab here, it shows you an image, as you can see, of someone performing the exercise, which is excellent for people who may not be familiar with some of these exercises. All of these exercises have examples, which is great. Then you put in your sleep, your mood, how your diet was, how you feel, if you're feeling any soreness in any particular body part. I mean, it is extensive and it's really, really cool. If you're having any injuries, you can click that you're rehabbing there. And once you're set to go, then you enter into the program and you're given your RPEs and your rep ranges for the day. Now, we've talked a little bit about RPE on this channel, but this app is very much RPE and percentage based. On your bigger lifts, usually it'll give you percentages of your 1 rep maxes. But on your accessory stuff, you're working in an RPE, or rate of perceived exertion, or reps in reserve, RIR, which they go in tandem. They're inverses of each other. So if you have 3 reps in reserve, 3 RIR, then you're at an RPE of 7, right? I think that I have a video about that. I may have just talked about it in passing. There's a ton of great videos on YouTube about RPE. Just YouTube RPE, and you'll get someone smarter than me telling you how it goes. But that's basically how the program is set up, which, again, I think is really helpful for someone like me who has 6 to 7 years of training experience behind them. Maybe not as helpful for someone who's just starting out. I find that beginners, especially the beginners that I train, have a hard time really estimating, okay, I had 3 reps left in the tank there, or I had 2, or I had 1. Especially when you get up to higher loads like 1 RIR, it can be tough to say, okay, that was really 1 RIR, because your mind will shut off before your muscles will. Your mind will say, hey, you should stop this. This could get us hurt, but your muscles may have more in the tank. So more training experience, I think, helps with this style of training. That's one thing I will say. Today was just an upper pull day. We weren't doing any of the big 3 lifts. So we started off with bent over rows. I'm a huge fan of bent over rows. I mean, I just posted on my Instagram about them, a little tutorial. Go follow me on Instagram if you want to. But they're one of the king back builders, and I love them for the stability that they offer as well. You get a lot of spinal erectors from having to hold that static position. Regardless, you want to input your weight as you pull up the app and your rate of perceived exertion after you've done each session. So as you can see here, I finished set 2. I bumped up to 195 for 6 reps, and I felt like that was around a 7 RPE. Again, I'm still trying to fine tune where my RPE and effort actually is. And I've been training for a long time. I'm a little bit newer to RPE training, so I'm trying to be as honest with myself as possible, but I like that. I like a new style of training and kind of figuring out how I'm doing and if I actually am at that RPE. So by filming all of these lifts as well, I can kind of look back and say, that was more like an RPE like 7 when I programmed it at 8. So it's been really helpful, and I think it's something that everyone should be introduced to as you get more and more comfortable with training. So after barbell rows, we moved on to a combo set of pull downs and leg extensions. The volume's pretty low because this is week 1, but something that I want to call your attention to is we are given a weight for these 2 exercises. Now, we weren't given one for our barbell rows, so we kind of determined that ourselves. It works off of 10 rep maxes. So I've input what my estimated 10 rep max is on the lat pull downs, and it's given me that weight, and then my rep range is between 3 and 4 reps in reserve. So then I can determine that. So on that day, it might be 12, it might be 15, it might be 10, depending on how I'm feeling, but that's where we want to be in that rep range, because it changes from day to day and from week to week. So on the next week, when I look back and say, okay, I did 150 pounds for 12, and that was about 3 RIR. Maybe I increase the weight, or maybe I try and get to 15 to get closer to 2 reps in reserve, right? So it's all about working with the data that you're collecting. After we finished up the combo set of leg extensions and pull downs, we finished the workout with some barbell bicep curls and some seated calf raises. Now, after we finish the session, I want to show you what's really cool, again, about the Juggernaut AI app. And I know it sounds like I'm really just going in on this thing, but I really, really like it. I think it's made my training a lot better. Again, I'm not sponsored, dude. You can say that this app is garbage for all I care, but I am really enjoying it, so I wanted to make a video on it. When you're done with your session, you go ahead and you click end a session here, and then you can rate the session's perceived exertion, which I think is super cool, and it plays into your readiness score. So you can go from 6 being easy, 7 average, 8 pretty difficult, 9 is gonna be dude, I'm kind of pushing it here, and then all the way up to 10 very hard. You're crawling out of the gym. For me today, this was about a 6, so I'm gonna click 6 and end my session there. And then as you can see, you can review your workout. It gives you a session RPE. It tells you your readiness going forward. It's just a lot of data that I think in the hands of someone who's a little bit more experienced in training, it can be very, very helpful. All right, so that's just a quick rundown on the Juggernaut AI app on where my training is right now. Like I said, that was recorded a couple months ago. I'm currently on a hypertrophy mesocycle within the Juggernaut AI app. I have about 80 days left in this current plan. I'm going to do a hypertrophy cycle, another strength block, and then a peaking phase where I'm going to finish with some tests on my 1 rep maxes in the gym. I think I'll probably update you again as I'm done with this full macro cycle that I did through Juggernaut AI with some final thoughts. We'll talk about where the 1 rep maxes went. I mean, at the end of the day, we're looking for results. So if the 1 rep maxes are going up, clearly the program, along with my nutrition and my recovery, obviously, is doing something great, right? So if you want to follow along with my training journey, I'm posting reels on Instagram about my training pretty much every day. Go ahead and follow me there if you want to. If not, thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe if you like the video, like, comment, whatever, all that jazz. I'm just putting content out, baby. I just like making these videos, so I'm glad that you're here to watch them. Get strong and stay strong, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.